Hello and welcome to another video for the RC Tractors website. This time I'm just going to show you the internals of one of the homemade RC tractors. This is the Fendt 936 I'm working on at the minute, and this one has worked out much better than the Massey. This time I chose to use a SIKU gearbox. This is a gearbox, motor on gearbox, out of a Fendt 930 I think it was. The reason I chose that was simply because the colour of the wheel rims was obviously going to match the front wheels. So if I'd chosen the wrong model, I would have had to modify the wheels of the 936, or either that or drive around with the odd coloured wheels, which wouldn't be ideal. So I had to file away part of the side of this body of the 936, and that allowed a tight fit for this motor and gearbox. So that's not glued in or anything, but it has a really solid fixing inside that body there. So it was really a good solution. And I've had this motor. I put this connection up here, and I've powered this motor, and it's able to pull much more than the Massey. The Massey had one of these servos with a pulley wheel and a rubber belt connecting it to the axle. That was so that the plastic gears inside this servo weren't put under too much stress. So I had trouble when I had it directly connected that the gears were shredding the teeth. So that was the solution. It was to put the pulley wheel on the Massey. Problem was, if you put any real load behind the Massey, it wasn't fit to pull it. The pulley wheel just spun, which was a good thing because you knew it wasn't breaking anything. And you know, if you'd driven into the wall, the gears didn't shred, the pulley just spun. So it's good in a way, but this is a much better solution here, because we were trying this motor on different inclines, and it was able to pull itself until it got to a point where it just started to flip itself over. So this, if you have the money, this is much more expensive. That gearbox is only worth that servo is only worth maybe €2 or something. This is €16 for this motor and gearbox assembly. And it comes with the wheels, and if you can see in there, there's a little nut on the wheel so that the axle and the wheel are connected with a good solid connection. The only thing about it, it doesn't have a differential, so taking a corner is a bit strange, because you know, normally you'd be able, you know, when you take a corner, one wheel moves faster than the other wheel, so you'd normally have a differential, but I suppose they just decided, because it's such a small model, it'll be able to pull itself around the corner without much difficulty. But I have noticed, unlike the Massey, when there's a small bit of weight on the back of this, it has trouble steering. So I presume it's down to the lack of differential there, because on the Massey I'm only driving one wheel, so one wheel is driving or is rolling free. That means you can you know, it acts like a really simple differential. But this doesn't have that, but it has a lot more power. So and as well as that, it's taking up much less space than the servo motor is in the Massey. So this is a much better solution. I think the steering as well, that I decided to do it much a much simpler solution than I did with the Massey. What I done in the Massey was, I took a motor like this one, servo motor, and I mounted it facing down here. So through this hole here, which is a bit lower on the other tractor, I put a gear wheel on the end of the servo, which would be on the end of it, like here. That was a Lego gear that just happened to be the right pitch to match the steering rack here. So I had a gear turning the steering, but I was looking at this model and trying to see how I could fit it in And then I realised these posts, there's a post here inside the model and a post on this other side, and they happen to be a perfect fit for this servo motor. I had to file them a little piece to get it to fit in, but it's very solidly connected in there without any glue again, so you know, if something happens, I can just pull it out and put it back in very simply. And when I realised that, I decided the best way to steer this tractor was going to be to just put the little arm on it, like here, as you can see. So this arm will move back and forward, and it's connected by this is just a paper clip. That's all this little bar is, just a nice stiff paper clip. I drilled a little hole in the steering rack, and within about 10 minutes I had perfect steering. So if there's a bit of advice for when you're doing these tractors, you just go with the simplest option you can think of. The gear in the Massey, that was we'll say a more elegant design, but you know, it took time. There was a lot of little details that I had to work with to get it to work. I was trying to squeeze the servo in under the bonnet, which wasn't great. But in this solution, I have this simple little motor. It's perfectly placed there. It's very solid. So if you're able to go with a simple solution like this, I'd really advise that's the way you go. Unless you happen to be, I don't know, an expert machinist or something, that you can come up with elegant solutions in no time. But that is pretty much the main parts of your RC tractor that you're going to make. I should say this is a 132 scale tractor as well. That's just the scale that I like to work in. It's nice and small for in the house. A lot of people work in 110 and stuff like that, but you know, those tend to be very large tractors. So I'll probably do a video later on how to control this. I'll be doing it with a PIC microcontroller and a speed controller for this motor and gearbox. That's everything I have to say about that. So I hope you enjoyed watching that, and any questions, leave them in the forum as usual, and that's everything. Thanks for watching.